Destiny, opportunity, preparation, execution. What do these four words have in common? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you today. Today, we'll be talking about how to master the art of being dope. We're going to look at these four words and talk about why they're important and how you own them so that you can walk in your dopeness. But before we do that, I just want to take a minute and tell you about me. My name is Monique Toussaint, and I'm an executive leadership coach and president of Monumental Business Solutions, where I partner with executives and aspiring executives to create action plans that promote career and leadership development success. Now, what does that have to do with being dope? Well, to be a great leader, you have to be authentic. To be authentic, you have to know who you are. And so, my job as your executive coach for the next 15 minutes is to help you figure out who you are, how you can be helpful, and how to walk in your greatness, how to walk in the art of being dope, how to be you. Because you know what? You're already dope. You were born that way. And so, to get us started, I want to talk about this quote. The two most important days in your life is the day you were born and the day you find out why, by Mark Twain. Let's think about that. The two most important days in your life is the day you were born and the day you find out why. Now, if I ask you, when were you born? Most of us, if not all of us, who can tell us, this is the day I was born. But if I ask you, do you know why you were born? Can you tell me? You want to think about that for a while? Take about 10 seconds and be like, you know what? I know why I was born. I know what my purpose is. I know what I was destined to do. Let's think about that. But you know what? Even if you don't know right now, all you have to know for today's session is these four things. You are dope. You are born to make an impact. You were born to be great and you will walk in greatness. So, to do that, our checklist for today is these four things: destiny, opportunity, preparation, and execution. So, when we say destiny, what does that mean? Now, people think, you know what, you create your destiny. Some believe, destiny is something you were meant to walk into. So, for the premise of today's conversation, let's think about that. If destiny is something that you were meant to do already, you already don't. You're already born that way. And so we just need you to own that. We need you to own the fact that, listen to me. When I was created to be great. And all I have to do is walk in my greatness. And how do you do that? The next three parts of our conversation is help you figure out, how do I walk in my destiny so that I can own my greatness, so that I can be dope. And the way to do that is to recognize opportunities, right? What does that mean? You want to be open. You have to be flexible. It might not come the way you expect it to. It might not come from the person you expect it to come from, but you have to be flexible. You have to be open. You can't be closed minded. You have to be willing to accept what people have to say to you. You have to leverage your network. Who are you connected to? What organizations are you a member of or should be a member of? Like, if you want to be a speaker, right? Should definitely be in Black Speakers Network. If you're a Black woman, should be in Speak Black Woman. Those are networks you want to leverage, as well as whatever other professional organizations or community groups that you're part of that you can leverage so that you are in a position to receive those opportunities as they arrive. And then the other thing that you want to think about is you want to think long term. So when you think about opportunities, sometimes we limit ourselves and we think about right now. Right now, this is not a good opportunity for me. Right now, I'm not thinking about just myself. I want to also think about my organization. So think long term for yourself and your organization. So it's not something that you want right now, but it makes sense to invest in it for the long term, then that's the opportunity you want to seize, right? And so if you are in a safe space to type, I want to encourage you to participate virtually and say, I will be open. So let's type, I will be open. And as you're typing that, I again want to emphasize the importance of owning that you're destined to be great. owning that these opportunities will come to you, and owning that you will be open, you will be flexible, you will be creative, but also know that you have to allow space for these opportunities to come into your zone. Okay. And then on top of the opportunities, it doesn't make sense to have access to the opportunities if you're not prepared to receive them. You want to maximize them. Now, if you've heard me speak before, you know, I talk about monumental moments, right? And being able to maximize those monumental moments. And what does that mean, right? There is one moment in time, often several, but for most of us, we can tell that one moment in time that changed our life. And for you, when that opportunity or that monumental moment happens, you have to be prepared. So, what does that mean? What does preparation look like for an opportunity that's supposed to help me walk in my greatness? Well, I have a few things you could think about for that. So, you want to be clear about who you are. Remember, authentic leadership, authentic being who you are allows people to recognize and respect you and create space for you. So, be clear about who you are. You want to be clear about what you have to offer, right? We don't just want to be in a position where we're just taking from people. We want to be able to say, when I walk in my greatness, I offer this to your space. I offer this to your organization. I offer this to this. And so you want to also be cognizant of what are your areas of improvement. Now, I know, we all, self included, sometimes think we're perfect, but the reality is there are things where we have areas to improve. And so part of being prepared is knowing that this is not my strong suit. Therefore, when I maximize this opportunity, I need access to this. So for me, I might need access to someone with that's more tech savvy, right? I can say, hey, I would love to do this, but will there be technical assistance available for me to do that? So being clear about what you need access to improve. And then you also want to be clear about what you want to accomplish. If you don't know what you want, then they can't help you. Me saying, oh, well, I'm going to be great, but what does that look like? When I think about Monique, I want to think about, you know what? This would be a great opportunity for Monique based on this. So if you don't know what the this is and what you want to accomplish, then you limit yourself from the number of opportunities that people present to you because you don't even know what you want. So you want to be clear about what you want to accomplish. And then finally, you want to be clear about the legacy you want to leave behind. Now we live in a microwave society. We're always thinking about the right now. But I want to emphasize the importance of thinking about the legacy that we're leaving behind. You are making history. Whether or not it goes down in the history books, know that there's someone close to you in your family, your community, your organizations that look up to you, that are admiring what you do. You're leaving the footprint, the blueprint, the map, whatever you want to call it. You are carving the way for someone behind you. And if you're not, you should be, right? So I won't go off about how much you should be mentoring as you grow, but be clear about what you want to leave behind and the legacy you want to leave, okay? And so these are the things you have to do to be prepared. Now, remember, you're already predestined to be dope. You're going to be dope because you're born that way. But you have to be open and flexible to receive the opportunities that allow you to be dope. And then you have to be prepared to be dope, right? So when the opportunities do arise, you have to make sure you're ready to maximize them. So for one example, that's often common in the career and leadership space is your elevator speech. Now, I know you've heard this. Well, some of you might have heard it before, and you're thinking about, okay, what does this mean? How do I use this? I already know what elevator speech is. I already have one. But indulge me and indulge each other. So there might be someone viewing that doesn't. And so what I want you to do is to master your elevator speech. What does that mean? If you're unfamiliar with that concept, you want to picture yourself in an elevator with the one influential person that can make your dream come true. Okay. So a lot of us hope for a skyscraper because we can talk about what we love, what we're passionate about for minutes and minutes upon end, maybe even hours. But nobody wants to be stuck in the elevator for hours. It's actually kind of scary, right? We want to get in, get where we're going, and get off. And so think about this. You have 30 seconds to present yourself or your idea. Here are the three things you want to think about. What would you say? Why should they listen? And what would you like to happen at the end of the conversation? And so mastering your elevator speech allows you, when given the opportunity, to present your why, present what you need, present how it's also beneficial to the learner, the listener, and then they can then present an opportunity in return to you. Okay. And so a lot of that preparation of things, we have to do the work beforehand. So when the opportunities do arise, we can maximize them. And most importantly, the last part of it all, when these opportunities arise, we want to execute. Ladies and gentlemen, think Nike, just do it. Okay. Type in the chat, I will act. A lot of these great ideas, a lot of the things we're meant to do don't happen because we don't do it. You can't be great, you can't be dope if you're not doing anything. And so you have to execute. And so part of that is prioritizing. Now, I want to do a lot of things, right? Part of owning my greatness is knowing that I excel in many things, but I have to prioritize what makes the most sense now, right? So I want to do lots of things. My priority right now is getting my dissertation done, right? Doesn't stop me from doing all the other things I want, but it does mean that I can't say yes to every opportunity. I have to prioritize what's the most important in this moment. But B, but organize myself so that when that time is available for me to give to other things, I can do it. So you want to prioritize, you want to organize, you want to plan, and you want to execute. You cannot be dope if you're not doing anything. You're born to be dope, you're born to do. And I want to offer to those of you that are not familiar with it, many of us are, but if you're not, part of doing it is using SMART goals. You want to be specific about what you want to do. You want to do it in a way that you can measure progress. You want to make sure it's attainable. So that means realistic to you, it's relevant, and it's time based. I can't say, you know what, I want to run a marathon. Okay, that's kind of specific, but I don't say when. I don't say how I'm gonna get ready for it. I don't, I might not have a goal that's relevant to it. So me saying, yeah, but I also want to shop at Curvy Girl Boutique, but making sure that what you're doing makes sense and by when. So again, you were predestined to be great. You are going to be open to those opportunities. You're going to be prepared to maximize them, and you're going to execute. You're going to execute your vision. And so, you know what? Action creates confidence. The more you do something, the more you're comfortable about it. And the more comfortable you are with something, the better you get at doing it. And you know what? A huge part, a huge part of all of this is to remember that everything starts with a thought. It's up to you to believe that you can have what you think. You know what? Might as well. Let's go ahead and type I believe. Because if you believe you can have it, then you probably will, right? Because if I say I'm gonna record this video by any means necessary, I know that I have content that is going to help you grow. Therefore, I have the thought in my mind. I have the confidence because it's something I've done time and time and time again, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to execute it, right? There was an opportunity. I was prepared, and I'm executing, and I am using my confidence to continue to do this stuff. And so the other part of all of this is you want to make sure that you are holding yourself accountable, and not just yourself. You want to find someone you trust and respect, because it's one thing for me to say I'm going to do it. It's another thing for me to tell someone. And the more, and I don't say the more people, but if I find that one person or group of friends or group of partners that I trust and respect, then I can make sure that it gets done. I can share my failures. I can share my successes. We can talk about ways to grow and adjust along the way, because accountability is a magnet for success. You're more likely to do something if someone is looking at you doing it, right? And so I'm more likely to run that marathon if there are people along the side cheering for me. I'm more likely to run that marathon if I have a training group, if I have a coach. And so these are things that you want to make sure that you have in place to make sure that you're not just born to be dope, but you're actually acting and being dope. Okay. And so to end this thing, I want to remind you, in order to master your dopeness, you have to remember who you are and who you are destined to be. You have to stay open and receptive to opportunities. You have to be prepared, dun, 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 to maximize those opportunities when they appear. And don't just think about it. Think Nike. Just do it. Execute your vision for yourself because your future depends on it. So go for it. Be great. Be dope. When you walk in your dopeness, success will follow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Again, my name is Monique Toussaint. I am an executive leadership coach and president of Monumental Business Solutions. And before we part ways, just want to offer you a free gift. If you visit monumentalbusiness.com/gift, there is a leadership growth formula checklist for you, and it's there to help you evaluate where am I, where can I be helped, and how do I continue to walk in my dopeness? Or for some of you, it might be how do I start? I know that there's something great in me, but I need to schedule a strategy session so that I can be great, so that I can be dope. And so that's where you want to start. And so with that, I want to encourage you to stay connected. I'm on Instagram at Think Monumental, Facebook at Think Monumental, monumentalbusiness.com, and I share these really quick monumental moments on YouTube. It has been a pleasure. I know that you're dope. I know that you're born to be dope. I hope that you know that you're born to be dope. I hope that you're open to the opportunities, you're prepared to maximize them, and you will execute. Execute, execute, execute. So go for it. Be great. Be dope. Thank you for your time.